see today is that everyone has ways of doing resumes, and there's no specific way of doing everything perfectly right. But there are certain things you want to make sure you do, and those are the things we're going to go through. Everything that's going to be on the PowerPoint will be in a Word document that is going to be digital and easily accessible later for everyone to be able to follow through, okay? We'll make sure that gets out to you. So, let's see here. So what we'll do is just run through the what we expect to cover today. The resume part, we will cover that. The biggest chunk of time we're going to spend today will be a lot in the how to ace the interview in person and virtual, because all of us at this point, if we're interviewing for anything, you're most likely doing it virtual, and we want to make sure we spend a lot of time there. So there'll be a few places in the resume part where we may not go through line by line, but everything is there for us. And while we're working through, if you see anything that has a light bulb next to it, it's one of those aha moments where I want you to pay attention to something, okay? So let's go. So how do you want to take your resume from just being okay, like, you know, the resume is all right, it's okay, to standing out? Couple of things for that is what we'll do is we'll go through a few quick facts. And a lot of the quick facts are things from working as a recruiter, working with people, hiring managers, and also being a hiring manager myself. On average, you have about 10 to 20 seconds to catch a recruiter's attention. So when they look at your resume, you got 10, 20 seconds. If you have 7 pages of a resume, let's not do that anymore. I can promise you nobody's going to read 7 pages of resumes. So if you have, on your first page is where you're going to capture their attention, okay? You want your resume to tell the story why you're the best fit for the role. And you also want to articulate why why they should not look at anybody else, but just look at you, okay? I would say, as a general idea, you want your resume to be 2, maybe 3 pages long, okay? The words in the job posting, so every time you go to apply for a job, there are going to be places where they'll say, in order to apply for this job, you must have this, and they'll list a few things, or a lot of things sometimes. They also have places where they will say, if you have this, it's nice to have, or it would be great if you have these. You want to focus on the things they say is must have, and make sure you have most of it, or all. You don't always have to have all the things in the must have. Statistics have shown that women tend to not apply for jobs if they don't have everything that is asked. We need to stop that. If you have 80%, please go ahead and apply. Now, if you have 20%, okay, I'm not sure what we would do with that one, but when you have like 70, 80%, please do apply for the job. There's some times where something else you may have may be very important to the job. They just don't know it until they see it on your profile, okay? We live in an AI world now, so it's not just people reaching out and reading your resumes. We also have AI searching, so you want to always make sure that there are some keywords from that job description that is in your resume. So you may sometimes, every now and then you have to tweak it, but I would say don't overdo it, okay? When you are putting your resume together, we're going to gloss over the quick facts here. Let's go quickly to a few things that you need to have in your resume. A lot of people always say, do you need a cover letter? In many cases you do. Sometimes you may not, but it's always better to write one, and if you are writing it, you can personalize it. You won't know the person who's hiring name, so it's okay to say to the recruiter or to the hiring manager, or if you know the manager's title, in some of the jobs they'll tell you you're going to report to VP of this, you can say to the VP of this. All the information you're given in the job description, use it to personalize it as you send it back to the company, okay? Now let's go to the design of your resume. So this is what I was talking about when you see these little light bulbs. On the first page of your resume, you know that 10, 20 seconds you have? You want to make sure you put a summary there. The summary is not, I have an MBA. It's not, I have certifications. It's not that. What your summary is is a short list of why you are excellent. If you're in an elevator and you see the VP of Information Technology, if you're a techie, and he's standing right there and he says, hey, so what do you do? That information you tell him in that 30 seconds you have him there is what you want in your summary, okay? As far as writing your summary, you want to make sure that you list your most valued and relevant skills. So if you are a cyber person, you'll notice I tend to switch into the tech because that's what I know a lot of. If you're a cyber person, when I look at your summary, I should know you're a cyber person. If you are a banking person and you've been doing some amazing things in banking, when I look at your summary, I should know that's what you do. You want to make sure it captures who you are because remember, your resume is talking for you when you're not in the room, okay? You're not there to tell them all the amazing things you do. Your resume is doing that, so you want to capture their attention. So summary, you need a summary. I can't stress this enough. You need a summary, you need one that's striking, that's powerful, and basically makes me want to say, wow, this person is awesome. Let me call them right now. That's what you want your summary to do. Okay, so whatever it is that in the job you do that makes you unique, that makes it like everybody comes to you, that's what you want to go for. If you have amazing presentation skills along what you do for your job, put it in there. It doesn't have to be long, but the things that you do that you're amazing at, that nobody can talk to you, so to speak, that's what you want to make sure is shown in your summary, because that's how you catch the attention of whoever's looking at it. A lot of times you see things like, the generic term, I'm results driven, excellent communication. If you're not results driven and you don't have excellent you can't communicate, you're not a team player, why are we here? We won't even be talking, right? You won't be searching for a job. So those are things that those are given at this point. It's expected. So save your space, that small space you have, save it for the things that's really, really important. So leave that out. Make it immediately clear that you have what it takes to excel. You know how sometimes you go to a room, you see somebody walk into an event, and everybody turns around, and they look. The person hasn't said anything yet, right? You want your resume to do that. That as soon as somebody looks at it, they start calling each other, no, you have to hire this person. Because believe me, it does happen. Now, when you put that on your resume, my disclaimer is, you have to make sure you can walk the talk. Don't have a fantastic resume, we're gonna get to that. Don't have a fantastic resume, and then when you show up, it's like two different people, okay? So always highlight your areas of expertise and the things that are most relevant to the job you're applying to. So for example, if you're applying for the job as a truck driver, right? Having a history of no accidents, no tickets, super important to that job, right? If you're a long haul driver, you're a long haul trucker, and you're applying for a job, you want to let them know, I'm a long haul driver. Some people are not. So the things that make you unique and perfect fit for that job, you definitely want to do that, okay? It's also okay to make sure that you focus on the things that you've achieved. If there's something you've achieved really quick, I'm going to show you an example next. So an example of a summary is somebody that says, developed, managed, and aligned the technology roadmap to business goals. This was a multi-year roadmap of technology investments to improve infrastructure, reduce costs, and increase efficiency. There was a 23% savings over a 3-year period that allowed emerging technology implementations. So what did this person say? Said that I did this. This is what they got out of it. This is how they benefited, and this was how I succeeded. So whatever you do, if you are somebody that, for example, if you are a bank teller, and I happen to have friends that started that years ago, and I remember them saying, at the end of the day, you can't be short, your money has to be right, you can't have errors and things like that. If you have a history that you've never had issues and all of that, that's something you highlight in a space like this. If you are efficient, you want to highlight it. The second one is another example just of a technology one, so we'll skip through. When you have your summary, then you want to say your experience. We need to know what you've done. How are you a superstar? The experience place. This is your space to brag. Please brag. We don't talk about ourselves doing good things. Oftentimes, people don't come to us to tell us we're doing good either. They come to you when you're not doing good, right? So this is a space where you tell people, I'm good at what I do, right? My sister here, she is